Hello, my name is Siti Numaisara binti Muhammad Zaman and my meeting number is A280925. I would like to present about background of crowdfunding. First, definition of crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is a way to finance a new business by collecting small amount of money from many people using social media and crowdfunding platform to connect investors and entrepreneurs. Next, for similarities and differences between crowdfunding and traditional fundraising. Crowdfunding and traditional fundraising both aim to raise money from projects, but they have key differences. Crowdfunding is a more accessible to smaller investors and business, using online platforms to reach a global audience with small contribution. Traditional fundraising often relies on big investment from several sources such as banks and venture capitalists. Crowdfunding fosters community engagement, while a traditional method focuses more on high-value donation from established networks.
Hi, my name is Roshan Raj, son of R. Pusparaja. My matrix number is A22A0872. Now, I'm going to present about the history of crowdfunding in United States. Early American towns pioneered crowdfunding long before the internet. Newspapers ran ads asking the public to fund important projects like bridges and drainage systems, similar to modern crowdfunding. A famous example is the Statue of Liberty, completed in 1885 largely through public donations. In the 20th century, community-based crowdfunding grew in the US. Public radio relied on listeners' donations, and local community often supported struggling business or individuals. This act, though not online, reflected the essence of crowdfunding. Many people making a huge impact together. The digital era transformed crowdfunding with the internet's rise in the late 20th and early 21st centuries. Platforms like Kickstarter and Indiegogo emerged. Launched in the mid-2000s, they became popular for those seeking online funding. Kickstarter focuses on reward-based crowdfunding for creative projects, offering perks like early product access. Indiegogo provides a flexible approach for various needs, from starting business to funding medical procedures. Now, I'm going to present about the history of crowdfunding in United Kingdom. The United States and United Kingdom have similar histories in community-based crowdfunding. In UK, public donations have funded important projects like bridges, canals, schools, and libraries, promoting a shared sense of responsibility for national progress. A notable example of early UK crowdfunding is 18th century in building societies. These member-owned cooperative pool fund help people buy homes, laying the groundwork for future crowdfunding models. The UK's crowdfunding industry has grown even faster with the introduction of internet platforms. In the late 2000s, platforms like CrowdCube emerged for startup equity crowdfunding, allowing people to invest in companies for potential future returns. The success of CrowdCube and platforms like Kickstarter has established in UK as a key player in global crowdfunding. Now, I'm going to present about the history of crowdfunding in Malaysia. Crowdfunding in Malaysia is still new compared to the US and UK, with major regulations only started in 2016. Despite this, platforms like Pinch In, Social Charity, and My Startup has seen rapid growth in the number of campaigns and funds raised. This shows crowdfunding's potential in Malaysia's growing entrepreneur scene. Crowdfunding helps Malaysian entrepreneurs overcome barriers to venture capital and bank loans, allowing people from all backgrounds to support promising business and causes. This democratizes access to capital, encouraging participation in the country's economic growth and fostering a sense of shared ownership. Additionally, some Malaysian crowdfunding platform has started incorporating Islamic finance principles, catering to the Muslim population and increasing the impact of crowdfunding.
Hi, I am Aulia Christina and my matric number is A22A0967. Crowdfunding has become a well-loved way to raise money for many kinds of projects and companies. It entails obtaining modest sums of money from a large number of individuals, usually online. Offering distinct benefits and drawbacks, several crowdfunding models serve a range of purposes and project kinds. First of all, the benefit of donation-based crowdfunding is a philanthropic appeal draws contributors who are driven to help a cause without anticipating financial gain. Next, no financial obligation, which is fundraisers are not required to give returns on donations or pay back money they have received. Establishes a community that is supportive of a cause of endeavor to community building. Besides that, benefits of a reward-based crowdfunding activates supporters, which encourages backers to contribute by providing them with actual gifts or merchandise. Besides marketing and validation, promotes a new product or service and aids in its validation in the market. No equity dilution. Fundraisers are not required to return collected contributions or give up equity. Other than that, benefits of equity-based crowdfunding access to capital enables new and small enterprises to sell equity holdings in order to raise significant sums of money. Engagement of investors, given that they have a monetary interest in the company's success, even investors are probably more involved and supportive. No repayment needed, which is unlike loans, which have repayment obligations. Rewards from equity investments are contingent on the success of the business. Last but not least, advantages of debt-based crowdfunding is loan access, which offers loans to individuals and enterprises that may not be available through regular banking institutions. Fixed repayment terms. This simplifies financial planning for borrowers as they know exactly how much they must repay. Attractive to lenders, which is by earning interest on their investments, lenders may potentially see a return on their capital. However, there are a few disadvantages as well. Firstly, the disadvantage of donation-based crowdfunding is restricted resources. Raising money is usually restricted because it depends entirely on the kindness of donors. Other than that, uncertain donations. It might be difficult for fundraisers to anticipate how much money they will raise in total. Less incentive for contributors, which is recruiting contributors, may be challenging because there are no material benefits or monetary returns. Next, for the disadvantage of reward-based crowdfunding is risk associated with fulfillment. If a project has a large number of applicants, it may be logistically difficult and expensive to fulfill prizes. Then high expectations. Project creators may experience stress as a result of backers' expectations for prompt delivery of promised benefits. Other than that is limited scope, better suited for innovative ideas, consumer goods, and artistic endeavors than for substantial financial requirements. Other than that, disadvantage of equity-based crowdfunding is regulatory requirements frequently enters intricate legal requirements and regulations, which raises the price and lengthens the campaign launch period. Besides, equity dilution. The founders may lose some control over their company in exchange for having to give up a piece of their ownership. Risk of failure. Investing in a business carries a considerable risk because investors stand to lose money if the venture fails. Lastly, the disadvantage of debt-based crowdfunding is a repayment obligation. In the event that the project fails to bring in the anticipated amount of money, borrowers will be required to return the loan plus interest. Next, credit risk. Lenders run the risk of suffering losses if borrowers default, subject to financial restrictions, which differ greatly by location and complicate the procedure, is a regulatory oversight. Every crowdfunding approach has its own benefits and drawbacks, which make it appropriate for various project kinds and financial requirements.
Hello, my name is Kishanti Ratnanath and my metric number is A228097. I am here to present about the legal aspect of crowdfunding in United States, a topic of great importance for entrepreneur, investor, and regulation alike. Crowdfunding as revolutionization of the way business raise capital and understanding the legal framework that governs this process is critical for ensure a safe and effective crowdfunding environment. In the US, the primary regulatory agency overseeing crowdfunding are the Security and Exchange Commission, which is SEC, and the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, which is FINRA. The SEC ensures investor protection and maintains honest security market, while FINRA acts as independent regulator for security firms, ensuring fair and honest operation within the US security industry. The cornerstone of the US crowdfunding regulatory framework is the Jumpstart Our Business Startup or JOB Act enacted in 2005. This act was designed to facilitate capital raising for small business through online platforms, especially Title III of the JOB Act, also known as the Crowdfunding Act, cover equity crowdfunding and established regulation crowdfunding or Regulation CF. In addition to regular CF, there are other key regulations, which is Regulation D 504, provide exemption for companies raising substantial funds without the onerous procedure of an IPO. Its limit for donation to $5 million in a 12-month period and is for accredited investors only. It must be US incorporate and ensure investor eligibility. Regulation A offers two Tier 4 issuance. Tier 1 allow for up to $20 million in a 12-month period, while Tier 2 allow for to $75 million in the same period. Moreover, I will present about an important aspect of the financial landscape in the United Kingdom, the regulatory framework for crowdfunding. Since 2014, crowdfunding has been a vital tool for entrepreneurs and investors, and understanding the regulation covering this sector is essential to maintain market integrity and protecting investors. In the UK, the Financial Conduct Authority, or FCA, is the primary regulatory body overseeing crowdsourced lending and investing. The FCA enforces strict regulation to ensure that the crowdfunding market operates fairly and transparently, safeguarding the interests of all participants. Loan-based crowdfunding, also known as peer-to-peer lending. This form of crowdfunding has been regulated under the Finance and Market Act 2000, prescribed accredited order since April 2014. Platform and facilitating peer-to-peer lending must operate under a single license. Initially, they receive interim authorization, but they must eventually obtain full FCA authorization. This regulatory oversight is particularly strength of the platform support consumer loans, ensuring that both lenders and borrowers receive legal and fair treatment. EF, investment-based crowdfunding or equity crowdfunding. The FCA regulates equity security to maintain market standard and protect investors. platform facilitating equity crowdfunding must apply for FCA authorization and adhere to guidelines regarding advocacy, promotion, and the super of investment offerings. It's important to note that the FCA does not directly regulate donation and reward-based crowdfunding. However, if these platforms offer payment service, they must comply with the payment service terms and conditions. Additionally, the UK Crowdfunding Association or UKCFA plays a significant role in the industry. This independent trade association promotes best practice, set standards, and enforce a code of conduct to ensure the integrity and effectiveness of crowdfunding activities. Next, I'm honored to discuss the evolving and vital topic of crowdfunding regulation in Malaysia. Crowdfunding has become a situation tool for raising capital, supporting innovation. Understanding the regulatory framework that growing this sector is essential for progressing a secure and efficient crowdfunding environment. In Malaysia, the primary regulatory body overseeing crowdfunding activities is the Securities and Exchange Commission, which is SEC. The key regulation underpinning this regulatory framework is the Financial Service Act 2013. This act maintains the supervision of financial institutions to protect investors and maintain market integrity. Malaysia recognizes several types of crowdfunding, each with this own set of regulation and guidelines. First one is equity crowdfunding is regulated by the SEC. It allows small business partnership and private company to raise funds from the public by selling shares. Notably, the SEC has increased fundraising limit for unlisted public companies, making it easier for these entities to participate in crowdfunding. This type of crowdfunding is applicable to limited partnership private company and unlisted state companies. To ensure transparency and investor protection, business must provide through disclosure and critical update to their investor. Peer-to-peer finance is also regulated by the SEC. This type of crowdfunding facilitates lending and borrowing between individual or company through online platform, offering an alternative to traditional banking service. Reward-based crowdfunding is not directly regulated by the SEC. However, platform facilitating this type of crowdfunding must comply with standard consumer protection rules and regulations to safeguard the interests of participants. Donation-based crowdfunding is commonly used for community, project, and social issues. Given the potential risk for fraud, there is a strong emphasis on implementing robust regulation to ensure accountability and protect donors. Sharia-based crowdfunding, guided by Islamic financial principles, face unique regulatory challenges. These include a lack of specific regulation and the domination of traditional financial institutions. Addressing these challenges is critical for the growth assumption for Sharia complement crowdfunding solution. Lastly, barrier to crowdfunding. Several barriers hinder the growth of crowdfunding in Malaysia. The complexity of regulation can be daunting for new entrants. Strict requirement for transparency can be burdensome for small business. High costs associated with complaints and fundraising activity can be prohibitive. I hope this overview and provide valuable insight into the legal aspect of crowdfunding in US, UK, and Malaysia. Thank you.
Hello guys, my name is Lakshmanan Halakinayapan Jr. My metric number is 822-80940. Okay, so now my part is I would like to explain the potential of crowdfunding can help for individuals, entrepreneurship, and Malaysia to realize its vision in becoming a developed nation. So the first subtopic that I would like to explain is potential of crowdfunding that can help for individuals. There are four potential, which is first one is access to capital, idea validation, skill development, and also networking. Okay, access capital. Crowdfunding platforms provide a way for people, especially for students, to get money for their enterprise and projects that would otherwise be hard for finance. Then the idea validation that consider for individuals to become a developed nation. Through this, anyone may test their ideas on the market. Then skill development. Skill development is also one of the developed nation for individuals, and it's a managing crowdfunding campaign it imparts important project management, communication, and marketing skills. Then networking is also becoming a developed nation for individuals that people can meet like-minded possible mentors and prospective partners through crowdfunding projects. Okay, next is potential of crowdfunding that can help for entrepreneurships to realize its vision in becoming a developed nation. The first one is startup funding. This is because a vital source of capital for business, particularly those who would not draw in traditional investors, is crowdfunding. Then market testing. This is why large-scale production entrepreneurs can use crowdsourcing to get input and determine the size of the market. Then it's exposure and marketing. Exposure and marketing is because of effective campaigns increase awareness of new goods and services and produce a lot of media coverage. And lastly is community building. Community building is a community of brand evangelists and early adopters is developed capable of offering continuous assistance and input. Okay, and the last one is the potential of crowdfunding that can help for Malaysia. The first one is encouraging innovation. This is because innovation and entrepreneurship are key drivers of economic development and prosperity, and crowdfunding forces both of these. Then the next point is supporting SMEs. SMEs is considered for Malaysia to become a developed nation because it increased the access to the capital supports small and medium-sized enterprise SMEs. Then the third one is job creation. Job creation is crowdfunding helps create jobs by promoting the expansion of startups and small enterprise. And the last one is inclusive growth. Inclusive growth is one of the vision in becoming a developed nation for Malaysia because crowdfunding makes funds more accessible to a wider range of people and groups, enabling them engage in economic activity. That's all from me. Thank you.
the conclusion, crowdfunding is revolution fundraising for new ventures and small business by connecting them with enormous potential investors via social media and online platforms. It's often various models like donation-based, reward-based, equity-based, and debt-based crowdfunding.